Hey stock and options traders, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Carl with a K. And I've been trading stocks and options online since the mid-1990s. If you're here to learn about trading or to figure out if a stock or options course on YouTube is worth the money, then make sure to subscribe to the channel. One of my goals is to change this industry. I want to change the buying criteria when anyone wants to buy a stock or options course on YouTube. If promises are made by a YouTube instructor when selling a course, then I believe they should prove their credibility. And I see only one way to prove credibility, and that is to share P&L. Not only share P&L, but also share the account P&L volatility, which means how much did the account value move up or down? Because if your account made 20% return, but it was down 60% at one point, then the 20% return is not a good return on risk. Sharing the P&L volatility is important because risk-adjusted returns are the real truth. And this is why I share my P&L and I show my daily moves on my P&L. Now, I would not buy a course from a YouTuber that makes promises without sharing their P&L, and I hope you won't either. In this video, I'm going to go over my real P&L for the month of September 2020. I'm going to share my P&L for the month of September 2020 for my two separate accounts. And before I get into the P&L, I want to briefly go over what the market did in September. And this will give you an idea of what my trading systems had to contend with over the last month. And my question always is, what type of market was last month or September? In my book, I go over the 4 types of markets for premium selling options traders. And that is what my two separate systems are set up to do. They're set up to take advantage of the difference between implied volatility and actual volatility by selling option premium. Now the 4 market types are: number 1, the rising bull; number 2, the sideways market; number 3, the grind down market; and number 4, the crash market. So looking at September, we can see here that the month started with, or it ended here at this level, and the month of September ended, it looks like right there, that level. So if you see that, the market was down 3.88%, and I would call this type of market over this last month a grind down market. You don't see a lot of grind down markets very often, but that's what I would call this type of market. Now let's see what volatility did over the same time period. Volatility is a key element when assessing an options portfolio because volatility has a direct impact on the price of options. The way I like to check volatility is by tracking the VIX. So let's take a look at the VIX for September. There's the VIX. And where were we? Here, right here is where the VIX ended for the month, and you can see, let's see where this month it ended right here. So the VIX was only up just 1%. So overall, the VIX beginning to end, it didn't really move much, but if you look at what happened during the month, it actually spiked all the way up to almost 40. I was at 38 at one point. We did see a pretty good spike in the VIX, but not enough to be a crash market, just a grind down market. So the question is, how did the two portfolios do in this grind down market and a decent spike in the volatility? So next I'll get into the P&L. And first is my smaller account where I trade the 5-step options trading success program. And this system is proprietary, and it took me over 3 years to develop as I kept racking my brain trying to replicate what I was doing in my larger portfolio margin account. And I wanted to replicate this system in a regular margin account. So I back tested over 300 different trade plans until I finally came up with a successful system that I could trade in a smaller account that outperformed the S&P 500 with also lower P&L volatility. Now I make these claims based on the last 10 years back-tested results along with about 4 months of trading it live. Now even though it does not replicate the exact system I'm using in my larger portfolio margin account, it is about as close as you can get. And if you're interested in the course, I have provided a link in the description below. So let's go ahead and get into the results of my smaller account. We can see that the account balance started at the end of August at $14,781, and then you get to the end of September and you have an account value of $14,992. You can also see that there was very little volatility in the account over this time period. This was a low point here, $14,744. So about a $40 drawdown on a $15,000 account. That's insignificant. So there's no significant P&L volatility with the account. And let's do some calculations here. So if we ended with $14,992 and we started with $14,781, we end up with $211 in profit, and that's divided by what we started with, $14,781. So you're looking at about a 1.4% return while the market was down 3.9%, along with very little volatility. You saw what the VIX did. It spiked to almost 40 and did not even hardly touch this portfolio in terms of drawdowns. Now this portfolio, using the 5-step options trading success program, is built for all 4 market types, and you can see that this market type, we are in a grind down market. You can see what this system did in a grind down market, and it's built for all 4 market types, including a crash market. And I would say 99% of the option premium sellers do not do well during a crash. In fact, that is the real challenge when selling option premium. Anyone can make money 95% of the time, but how do you avoid the huge unrecoverable drawdowns during a crash? Well, that is what this system is designed to do, giving it the ability to make money in all market environments while mitigating drawdowns. And again, you can learn exactly how I trade this account by purchasing the course, and I'll put a link in the description below. Now I'm going to go over my larger account. This account has portfolio margin, allowing me to trade with more leverage in order to take advantage of certain trade structures. And you can get more information on how I trade this account by reading my book, A Portfolio for All Markets. Now we can see here at the end of the month, which would be August 31st, we had an account balance of $130,636, and we ended the month on the 30th, Wednesday, of $135,032. Now you can see the volatility of the account starting with 130, it went down to 129,246. So it was down about $800 at the most. So on a $130,000 account, going down $800, that's just insignificant as far as drawdowns. And we had that grind down market. We saw that spike in the VIX, and I'm selling option premium, and I've got a real stable trade structure here that I use. Now, as far as the returns, it says 2.23, but I'm not sure why it says my starting value was 132,000 when it was 130,000. So it's actually a little better than this 2.23, maybe closer to around 4% return. When the market went down 3.9%, so the market went down 4, my account went up 4. So that's really good. I'm very happy about that. And in a grind down market, going up 4%, that's really good results for this month of September. And again, you see we only went down by $800, but we ended up going up by around close to $4,000 or a little bit more, and with a drawdown of only $800. So the risk adjusted returns are fantastic, especially for this type of market. Now, if you want insight on how I trade this larger portfolio margin account, you can purchase my book, A Portfolio for All Markets, or you can check out the course I took that brought my options trading to another level. And that course was from Ron Bertino called Trading Dominion. And I left a link in the description below for my book and my review of Ron Bertino's course, and also a link for the actual course from Ron in the description below. Now, if you're just a beginner and you want to learn the basics of how I trade, I have created a proprietary course worth about $495 that is available for free. Now, I left a link in the description below for the free course. And I look forward to sharing my P&L next month and every month. And remember, legitimate instructors share their total portfolio P&L.